Veterans Battalion.
What's up, guys? Veterans Battalion here on the 77th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. We're here. We got a special episode for you. For those of you who don't know, that Pearl Harbor was the largest attack on U.S. soil prior to 9/11, and that it's a lot of things. History was rewritten in Pearl Harbor by the men and women that wear the uniform, and who knows where America would be.
And where are we at today, guys?
Bravery Brewery
Company. Bravery Brewing Company. We got corrected on that earlier.
Don't worry about it. You got to have a beer with your Bravery Brewery.
Adam is already three beers in, but we'll get a toast here.
Can I get a motherfucking hoorah?
Hoorah! We got a special guest for you. If you guys are probably wondering what that other voice is.
But before we do that, why don't we talk to this man over here?
So, guys, as always, one battalion, one company, one squad, one team, one fight. So if you guys haven't heard it on there, now you've seen it visually. That's what we're about, guys. We're about getting everyone together, all the vets, sharing experiences, stories, anything that can prolong you in a successful future in this life. And
absolutely, because our mission is to help veterans achieve greatness after service, and what better way than to bring you amazing guests like the one we have right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your service.
Just before this, he was telling us some pretty badass stories of the way old Corps. We thought our era was the tough era, but no way.
This guy's a badass.
This guy's a badass.
It is definitely changed, service, and I'm sure you can attest to that. The Marine Corps is a lot different than back when you served. So this here is our good friend Jerry. He's a Marine Corps vet, and he served back when you were just showing me pictures of boot camp. That was what, in 1959?
No. Yes.
No, he's trying to hide his age. He doesn't want to.
I graduated from boot camp in August 1959. Hoorah!
Hoorah!
This lapel pin was the lapel pin I got in boot camp. It's 59 years old. I wear it every day.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's one of the things that we were talking about, prior to today, was the differences that our men and women, our service members have, from like today in the OIF, OEF. For those of you that haven't served, that's the Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom, the war in Afghanistan. The experiences are completely different. What did you say than from back in your day?
I had a great opportunity 6 years ago to volunteer for a hospice group to take care of their terminal veterans. We had veterans from World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Cold War, and some of the Iraqi freedom people. So you had the big spectrum. I met some of the greatest people on earth. And one thing I tell everybody, one thing these people all had in common, that they were heroes and they didn't realize. So you don't know what these people have done for this great country we live in.
And it's pretty crazy. You don't typically see that, when you turn on, your television. That's one of the things that sucks about, just the media is they
always just point out the negative.
It's just negative.
Everything's negative. They don't show anything positive, because there's actually a lot of great things that go on in this country, in this world. But that doesn't sell ratings, so it doesn't.
And you know what? I found a very accurate depiction. Just recently, I just watched this the other night. It was a documentary that I think every American should watch. It's a documentary called The Hornet's Nest. And it's an accurate depiction of the war in Afghanistan right now. I didn't even know this, but it was actually footage of my last battalion, 2-8, in Afghanistan. And they had an Army unit, 101st Airborne unit that, you just got to go see it. It's really a film that everyone must see to really get an accurate depiction of the things that our men and women who serve deal with and experience over there. And I'll tell you, without spoiling it, it's emotional. It's emotional at the end, but it's something that it's just a story that needs to be told. So the American men and women get a good idea of what our service members are doing over there.
And as far as coming back, I just wanted to share something that great gentleman over here kind of we talked about, and it really connected with me. We had talked about what do you have to say about the men and women that come back from overseas that have all these things they're dealing with and whatnot. I want you to share with me what you told me about pity. Remember we were talking about pity,
and it's okay.
I love it. It literally just took me from here to there, and it was like, okay, so do we comfort these people, or do we give them what the military taught us? Because you got a new war at home, right? And you talk to me about your family.
It's different issue. It would be nice if PTSD was defined and you don't get away from the definition. But it can't be done that way. Everybody is different, how they feel, what they're going through, and you have to sit down and get them to talk. I've been a veteran for 59 years, and one thing I do best is I listen to people. And I've been given the honor to volunteer out of Avia College at the Vet Center to counsel some of the young people. They refer to me as Grandpa, and that's fine. It shows longevity. I've been around a while. And I'm a good grandpa because I listen well. And I tell these young people, I can't help you unless you're willing to talk. And what goes in these ears won't come out this mouth unless it's detrimental to your health. And then I have to report it. That's the law. But I don't tell you what to do. Everybody is different. I will give you some things to think about where you can make the correct decision that will help you move forward in life.
I like that.
Now, what is it? What do you think the different things are that, like, so if going back to your friends, the individuals that you served with, maybe the individuals that you cared for, what do you think was the most difficult things that those veterans have seen or experienced in that generation that make it tough to live with? Like, so what is called PTSD, but we'll just say, what did you call it earlier? Battle fatigue.
Yeah. Well,
battle fatigue.
World War II,
the issues are?
You have to understand the people that were in World War II came out of the Great Depression.
Yeah.
They slept on the streets. They had to eat soup kitchen, food. They had a chance to go into the military and get clean clothes, a blanket, and good food, and a better life in general. So they had to learn from past experience. You drag some of that experience along with you to make you mentally and emotionally tough. I think sometimes now we don't have that. I compare to my boot camp to these young whippersnappers.
He just called us a bunch of sissies. Is what he said.
Not me.
Hey, sir, I gotta tell you this. If you think that our generation is sissies, then you'd probably fall over when you know what's going on nowadays.
I don't.
With 18-year-olds now.
Wait, don't embarrass me. I don't want to hear it.
It's all good. No, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I never really got a chance. Well, the only veteran that I've ever known that has served in Pearl Harbor was my grandfather.
Yeah.
And he was actually there during the attack on Pearl Harbor. And he was just cooking up some food in the kitchen. Yeah. He was in the Navy at the time. And I just, at the time, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him about his experiences that he's seen in combat, in service, because one, he never wanted to talk about it. He never wanted to talk about it. He just, every time the subject got brought up, tears. His eyes just got filled with tears.
Most combat veterans, they don't get into talking about combat. When I first started doing hospice, some of the people think, "Oh, that's great, y'all said about talking about what you did in combat." Yeah, we go in and talk about I carried a tank up that hill. No, we don't. We go in and we enjoy each other's company. We laugh at the crazy things we did that almost got us killed, had nothing to do with combat. And the civilian population don't understand that. And we keep to ourselves. I have young mothers, or the mother population now, they're worried that when their sons come back or their daughters, they don't feel like talking. Mothers do not understand. First of all, PTSD is not just a combat thing. You can have PTSD when you see your cat ran over in the 3rd grade. But you take this young man or woman right out of high school, they volunteer now. They're not drafted. They raised their hand and said, "I want to do this." And in 3 months of military training, they're ready for combat. You send them to combat.
That's incredible.
And they see some of the most heinous things going. And you expect them to come home and talk to you, their mother, about it? Of course not. They don't want to do that. So they're very quiet. But they have to find somebody that they can come to and say, "I feel safe talking to you about how I feel."
Now, sir, do you feel that guys open up more to their fellow Marines or soldiers versus just anyone else? Because a lot of times at the VA, they want you to talk to, one person here, one person there, and quite frankly, I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
I think it's because we all relate. So there's a sense of trust. Because it's crazy what you just explained. If you look at it in a different point of view, so if you look back at when individuals are raised, we're conditioned all the way up to as kids to teenagers that, you know what, when you break the law, it's wrong. When you lie, cheat, steal, when you kill people, it's wrong. So you take 3 months and you make an individual into a hardened war machine. And now they have to just change their way of conditioning to where they have to kill to provide our freedom and our sense of living. They forget everything that we were taught. And then when they come back from overseas, they're just put into society and they have to re-forget that and get retrained and realize that it's wrong and it's difficult.
One thing about that, it's hard. They train these person 3 months to be a killer. And they're out, you're through, here's your mustering out pay, come on. But they do not help them reverse that process and come back to civilization as a civilian.
Sir, in 1959, what do they have as far as programs, or did they have a process for when someone got out, or they just
kind of like taps? What we got?
Did they just kick them out, or what happened?
You come out, here's your check. It's nice knowing you. Goodbye. If you go,
that's it. At least it's good. It's gotten a little bit better.
If you go to a reserve unit, then you're sort of downsizing that feel a little bit. Gets better. Gives you time to adjust. Then you go out on the street as a civilian.
So, sir, what can you say to the people that are listening right now that have served overseas? They've been through just a bunch of shit and they don't feel like saying anything. Can you give them any? What would you tell them?
Well, that's tough, to a degree. But first, you have to understand how that person is feeling inside about himself, what he did, what he had to do. If he is able to have a fellow veteran that he can go talk to. And I don't mean let's slam down a case of beer it's fun, but it doesn't get too much done in your life.
You got to work through what's
and sir, you mentioned something about that you lost a lot of weight. Was fitness a part of getting your mind right?
Oh yeah, I have. I've been a coach. Came out of the military. I went to college. I've been a coach. Weightlifting was part of my life. I had arthritis. I had a horse fall on the back in 66. And so it really messed me up. And I was told to get in the gym and live there the rest of my life, or I'm going to end up doing nothing. So I became a weightlifter, got on a program, and I stayed with it. I went to the gym 6 days a week for about 6 years. Then I contracted stage 4 cancer. That sort of slowed that down. But I knew what I had to go through. I went through preparation. I went through radiation. I lost 65 pounds in 7 weeks of radiation, and it was muscle mass. I had the weight to lose, which was great.
Talk about adapting and overcoming. It's not only a Marine Corps veteran here, but a cancer survivor. Cheers to that, guys.
Well, right. Cheers to that, man. I appreciate that.
What do you guys think is the difference between that older generation of like PTSD, the things that those individuals have experienced today?
I think personally, we had talked about this before, me and this gentleman right here. We had talked about the whole idea of lessening that self-pity. Remember we had talked about it, and you had some good things, I think a lot of people want to feel that pity, and people as in people that are transitioning from the military into civilian life. And I think they're looking for that. They're looking for a portion of someone to listen to, someone to hear them, someone to give them options, but then also maybe someone to just not pity them.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we got. And I think you said it best. I'll let you explain it. That was just awesome, man. It just hit home for me.
Well, when I was in boot camp, I heard a drill instructor tell a kid, said, you want sympathy? You can find it in the dictionary. It's a little rough now. Between shit and syphilis. Shut up, get up, and do something. And that's what I tell people sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not, here, feel sorry for me. It helped me to stand up.
Sounds like JP, man.
If I stand up, help me to take a step. And if that's what it takes, I'm here to help you do it. Always. But you never, ever, ever quit.
Yes, sir.
Because if you quit, you die, folks.
Yes, sir.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think that's man, you can't really say that any better. Like, really,
I just had to step in and say I approve of that one.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, JP decided to be a photographer and a videographer today.
He's with us. And
He's doing a great job. We got Avi. We have a amazing guest over here too.
You're probably wondering what happened because you're not hearing,
You haven't even said one F-bomb, right? Oh, no, I said the S word.
I'm trying to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Except for December
King
7th.
King Foxtrot over here is over. He's doing the videography.
So you'll notice that this you're probably listening in on iTunes, but this episode will also be available on YouTube to watch the video of this content, just so you can see where we're at.
So you mentioned something about the older generation and the newer generation. My grandpa served in World War II, the Army. Have his tattoo right here, and his job overseas was to collect the bodies. And that was his one job, was to take the dead bodies and put them into, I don't know if it was like a Humvee of some sort or something, but it never came out until he was about to pass away. And all of a sudden he's just screaming at night and, saying, everything that he ever saw. And I just think that there was never that proper process of things. When you go into the military, there's a process for everything.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like when you get out, it's like, you're out.
Yeah.
But you have great things like this badass brewery that Gunny Ermy, which is right here. He's the man.
King of
the king of the Marine Corps right there.
Yeah, iconic.
And you have
really iconic Marine.
And I guarantee you that if anyone ever came in here and needed something, like this is the place to go. You know, and you feel like home. This is why I have this place. You know, you have VFWs and American Legions because that's why those were created. And now taking it to the podcast level, which is what Veterans Battalion is really taking it a step further and using technology to
share the stories,
to bring guests.
Yeah, definitely.
We all have our own experiences, guys. A lot of guys, or a lot of you guys know what my experience was. So when I transitioned out of the Marine Corps, you know, I was homeless for about 6 months, and that was a big thing. And we had talked about it for a while on the podcast with different guests that we've had. And the number one thing that we had talked about is like, how do you get the veteran from out of the military transitioned into a good work field? And I think that's the whole reason why we're here, guys, you know, is just to talk about how we can get there. How do you get the GI from the military transitioned into a home to where they have a little bit of time to decompress and then to get into a work field environment that best suits them, you know, and better yet, talk about something that they want to do, right?
That's why we have up here in the valley something called Vets for Vets.
Vets for Vets.
Vets for Vets.
They just purchased a home, finished putting it together where they were able to help family. We'll take an example, a family. A place for them to live for a while till they get up on their feet where they can move forward. But when you come out of the Corps or any military service, you're ready to go. You want a job, and there's none here. For what's your qualification? Well, I can drop you at 1,000 yards. That's my qualification. Well, hey, there's not too many jobs.
You know, it's amazing what you just said, because I was at the gym the other day and I met this 3.5 Marine, and he just got out and he served overseas. Awards, tons of awards, doing great things. And now he's like, shit, all I'm doing is going and getting my GI Bill and working here and there. Like that's the beginning of it. So it's awesome that we have things like this to really inspire and push them and motivate them to do great things, because we bring great guests on here that have been through the darkest of times and have risen up
to create greatness.
Great.
Yeah,
I said it.
It's all good, man. Yeah.
Well, not in front of him, but there's a respect thing. I don't want to.
If you come out of the military, if you can use the GI Bill, get into a school. It doesn't have to be a school of higher education. It can be a trade school. There are a lot of great trades. See, in the old past, my era, you come out of high school, you go to college, you have to get a 4-year degree. Well, there's machinists, there's butchers, there's plumbers, make damn good money. But we are short of them now because everybody wanted to be someone with a great degree in something else. I saw something last.
It's not a bad idea to work with
this young lady said, I have a degree in music appreciation. Would you like French fries for that order?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't get it either. Yeah,
I don't have degrees in something that aren't beneficial to you.
Definitely.
Or your family.
That's one of the things that we preach a lot is just really not just getting a degree just to get a degree, really have some type of purpose behind it and really find your passion, what you enjoy doing, because that's what's going to make you the most successful. Like really being grounded by,
But I got to tell you this, so even something you're passionate about gets old. I just think that you have to have that purpose and that and that drive behind it. There's got to be a mission, right? Because you love the Marine Corps, but you don't love doing the shit. I mean, I'm hurting right now. I'm moving because my back is just jacked up. But you do things that's uncomfortable, but it's the mission, the mission accomplishment of your life. Now it's the mission accomplishment of your life.
Yeah.
You have a mission accomplishment to be at home, to start a family, to protect your family.
So why don't you guys talk about, because you guys were both talking about family and thanking your wives and stuff, right?
He had a lot of good points, and just the small things, like just hugging your kids every night when you get home. Instead of going out there drinking a bottle of beer to yourself, or going hanging out with maybe the people that won't be around you in the next 10 years. Just focus on your kids, read a story. Like little things like that.
Now, how do you do that, Cole? When you have things that you're dealing with, experience that you've had in service, on deployment, when you're going through some shit, how do you basically let that go and still be able to
I personally still don't have that answer. And honestly, a lot of it comes from talking to guys like this.
The more of this you do, the less it kind of relieves the pressure, and you can go and enjoy the time.
You have to have somebody that you can go to and talk. Hello, you got time for a cup of coffee this evening? I got some issues. I got some stuff that I just need to get worked out. Okay, I'll meet you here. Go meet them, have a cup of coffee. Know what's going on with your life. Okay? Issue at a time. Let's not overwhelm ourselves. Okay, let's talk about this one thing. Have you ever thought about doing this? Have you ever thought about doing this? Think about this. Don't think about all of it in one basket.
Yeah.
Pull a piece out at a time, and that's what you're going to get resolved. Feel good about what you did this one time. Because if you try to do it all, it's going to be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be any better off than you are.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I think we talked about in the previous episode was when you have experiences that you're dealing with, you can't keep it bottled up inside, because sooner or later, when you'll find your darkest times when you're alone. When you're alone, that's when it's going to come back up. And if you keep it bottled in, it's gotta get released somehow. So it's just gonna erupt.
But you didn't release, like, you had that really shitty deployment, and you didn't release it until years later.
Yeah, and that's totally wrong. Like,
and you walked around like you were good, but you were hiding. But over time, it just kind of.
But that's what I'm saying is find somebody that you can buddy up with, that you're not afraid to go, here, this is my problem. They know your problem. You can't hide from him. You can hide from everybody else out.
Yeah.
Put the camo on and wear that around, but it's not getting resolved.
And that's what you do. It's like a bunch of camo. You put on a facade, you act like you're all right. And I know, because I've done this. I still do it.
Okay, but think about it though, right? Even when I was overseas, anything that I did, I had to have someone with me at all times.
Yeah.
Like the buddy program. Even when I wanted to go make a head call, like, I had to have some dude next to me, like, the whole time. Like, think about it. And now, like, if you had that dude here, I mean, holding you accountable, like, I think we're all holding each other accountable.
Yeah.
JP's off photographing somewhere, but, for the most part, we're a unit, dude,
Yeah.
And we hold each other accountable. We take care of each other. And I think that having someone here is just, in the States, having that, you can't let that guy fall off. Like, there has to be one person that holds another person accountable. Because I know if I was fucking up, sorry, sir. If I was fucking up, I guarantee you that one of you guys would be on my ass. So, right?
Yeah. And that's,
you have a crew, but a lot of veterans don't.
They don't.
On Tuesday night, over AV, they have something called Point Man. It's about Vietnam veterans. We have a meeting. Come have cookies, cake, pop, and we just talk.
Cookies, cake, pop. I haven't heard.
I do gotta say,
I haven't heard that pop in a while.
I do gotta say though that this is hands down the best generation of human being ever. Right here, they don't make guys like this anymore.
Thank God.
They don't make gunnies like this anymore, and it's just an honor to be next to you.
We're not in combat, grenade, all the time.
Yeah.
We deal with everyday life.
Yeah.
But everyday life can get to be overwhelming if you let it.
It does.
Sit down, write yourself out of it. This is my deal till I get
Good tips here.
I wake up every morning, I hug my wife, I hug my kid, I get with the program.
Sir, can you give some veterans some advice on how to be with even with your wife as well? I know that you were telling him something and he's like, yeah, I do it, but he doesn't do it. He's just kind of bullshitting.
Well,
can you explain?
That's what I had in mind. I had a friend,
Let's be honest.
Growing up with. He was a redhead, defiant, and he had 2 twin daughters. He owned a funeral home, a small town. And he would get up every morning. He said, I'd get up and I'd kiss my wife and I'd kiss my 2 daughters and I'd tell them I loved them every morning before I left. They got killed and then all of them would be all right. And the only thing he remembered is that I didn't tell him I loved him. And that haunted him. Today, you get up, she picked me off. Yeah, okay, fine. You do not realize how sacred that woman and your children are to you. Yeah,
It's too late.
you have to understand something. I might not like you today, but I will love you today. Love is stick in concrete. Like, what's going on? But you have to find that edge that will keep you involved in that emotional battle of life you're going through. Definitely. If I'm going to set some goals, I'm going to have a job by the end of the month. It might not be the job I'm qualified for, but I'm going to have a job. Make it happen.
So important. That's it just goes hand in hand with some of the things that we preach about, just living life in the moment, practicing excellence in everything that you do, being the best father, the best husband, the best employee, every aspect of your life. And that's what's going to help you overcome the challenges and the battles you face in everyday life, because the experiences that you've had are rough in service. I mean, some of the things, regardless of the generation, from World War II to Pearl Harbor to Vietnam to OEF, you see some just crazy things that someone like, the average population can never fathom when you experience certain things like, having innocent women and children being killed or killing them. In combat, or having a good friend, a junior Marine, a senior Marine die at your footside. And those are some things that you just can never forget. And then when you're put in your everyday life and all the challenges and obstacles that you face, it's a challenge to deal with. But
you were given a gift to be here.
Definitely.
And you have to make the most of it.
And like I told you about the young man, it felt like, oh, it's my fault, my buddy died. And when I asked him that if he believes in God and the creator of this great universe, not church Bible reader, just God, that he might do this for you. Those persons died to get you back here into the States, but he wasn't through with you. This is the challenge, to find what that is. How would those guys feel if they showed up on your doorstep and you're about half in the bag at 9 o'clock in the morning? I died for this. This is what I gave it up for. So now you have something else to fight for. You have to fight every day for those buddies that gave it up.
Most definitely, sir. And what is, you had told me something that really stuck into me. When the things that you tell, because you've had individuals that have been there in that really dark position where they've contemplated taking their own life because things have just gotten too hard to deal with. What do you tell those individuals?
Well, there's about 3 different things I look at some people, talk to them about. They're ready to act and stuff. And I ask them, one, if they're married, if they have children.
Yeah.
Now, how do you think that child is going to feel when he's 14, 15 years old and he has to tell somebody why my dad wasn't a strong enough person to be here when I need him to help me through life? And the one I bring up to that person most, if you flatten yourself over something that's happened in the past is the past. That will never get resolved. And you will never know how great you could have been.
Absolutely.
You just start. You're a baby. You forget it.
I gotta say something. I went to a wake for a Marine who killed himself in my unit, and he was buried in his breast blues. He hung himself. Buried in his breast blues, and I went up, looked at him, and and you can picture yourself in the casket, and I looked over and I saw his 4 kids sitting there, and except they were being consoled by a new man, right? Because she had been remarried, and now this other guy is going to raise the kids.
Yeah,
and I'm like, it's a fucking hell. I'm never gonna let someone raise my children. Yeah.
Oh. Let me tell you this one great story. I won't tell anyone. I work out. This guy, I know him from the gym, back when I was big. And there's a young lady there, an instructor, and she hooked up with this airborne guy. I knew he honored there. This airborne guy is pretty good. And she was in the motherly way, and they were going to have a little boy. And for some reason, he fell off the wagon. And she said, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this without him being straight. That's illegal. So I went and got him, and I took him to a T-ball practice. I think everybody knows what T-ball is.
For little kids.
Basketball. And I said, look at those fathers over there, and look at those little kids having so much fun. They're laughing and giggling. You're getting ready to have a little boy. But you're not going to have that opportunity if you keep going the way you're going. You're going to be with the wino down at the end of the fence trying to figure out which son is yours. I gave him a poster I went and bought that morning of a little kid swinging a bat at a T-ball. And I said, I want you to look at that every day, you Jay. Is that what you're willing to give up? Don't you want to be that father that's laughing and giggling with his son and enjoying life? Well, he's been sober a couple of years now. You have to put things in perspective of what's going on in that person's life.
That's awesome. Yeah. So this is a call to action for those of you that are listening, those of you that are watching. You might be dealing with something, being challenged by something, things that you've experienced. This is your call to action to really, really step up and recreate yourself, reinvent yourself, become the best version of yourself. Find some fellow, service members, find some friends to deal with whatever you're going through, and just be the best damn father, the best damn mother, the best husband, the best employee that you can be. And really, that's the step to getting past what you're dealing with.
What's the chorus saying? Mind is not the reason why, just to do or die.
Now, sir, before we wrap up, since we're here at Gunny Ermey's place, and he obviously unfortunately passed this year.
Yeah.
He is the Marine Corps. He's like the man. He is the Marine Corps. Can you say what would he say to anyone that that was maybe feeling down on themselves or not like they're worth anything?
Well, that's where I got the comment about where you want sympathy, where you can find sympathy.
That sounds like
that.
something
Gunny
you
It
say.
does sound like that, though.
Well,
Yeah, that's awesome.
just pick it up. He
Awesome.
came, Gunny went in the Corps the year I got out. So I called him short time roll.
Yeah,
He's not hardcore. He just Gunny. But he is. I have the movie. I watch it. I only watch the boot camp part of it. I don't watch the combat. Don't need that. I just watch him.
yeah.
But he brings back good memories. My wife thinks I'm a sadistic, crazy person. She might be right. But I like what I have. And I like Gunny, and Marines like him and the families they have.
I think we should do a cheers to Gunny right here. It has
Cheers.
everyone.
Hoorah! Gunny!
And just want to give a special thanks to Bart here at Bravery Brewing Company to allowing us to record the special edition podcast episode on the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Like always, we believe in creating greatness for veterans after service. We're always here if you need anything. You know where to find us. Message us.
Come around,
you can
man.
message us directly. Send us an email. And we're always here to provide greatness.
Okay, I know there's been someone missing, right? Like, I just feel lost without this guy.
No, first of all, I want to say, thank you. Anytime we got a vet here that's willing to share some information and put it out there and empower more veterans, it's something that just, again, proves for the cost of what we're doing. These is a bunch of bad motherfuckers here. And I'll tell you, what better way to celebrate than here, have the Gunny see us. As a matter of fact, he's right there next to us and he's pointing fingers at us. So make sure you stay tuned. We got a lot more shit coming up. And don't fuck yourself. 7-5.
Hurrah.
Hoorah!
That was good.
Yeah, that's good. Done for you.
Thanks for listening and serving. Please take the time to leave a review on iTunes to get this podcast heard. Veterans Battalion.